Stress less, live more. Well, we know in Ontario, 80% of all the people that go to the doctors have lifestyle-related issues. So if we change that, we'd have a lot more money left for schools and highways and police and all kinds of other things. So we want to be able to do that. So what happens is Canadian centenarians have increased by 21% over the past 5 years, and these numbers continue to rise. Here's a census report that came out May 29th. In Canada right now, last year there was 5,825 people over 100 years old. And it's between 6,000 and 7,000 right now. So what happens is population is growing amazingly. That group that's growing has lived through 21 recessions, the Great Depression, and they continue to rise. In fact, they're growing at 8 to 9% per year that people are over 100 years old. Really important that you know it. Whether you like it or not, it says it at the bottom here, whether you like it or not, you guys are probably going to live longer than you thought, and you might even get there. So you get to choose. Do you want to be 80 years old, a burden, grumpy, crippled, or do you want to live to be 100 years old, do a little water skiing? Do you want to get there in style, or do you just want to get there? Because there's enough ways to get people to last that long, but they have a lot of disability. People who have good lifestyles reduce their disability zone. Disability zone for the average person in North America is 15 to 18 years of crappy life. What happens is if you have a good lifestyle, improve your body composition, you can reduce that to 15 to 18 months. So if you want another extra 15 years to have fun, 15 to 18 years, change your lifestyle. What happens is stress can make you sick and cause pain and reduce the quality of your life now and as you age. So I put in here, grab this here, it's how to calculate your empire. Everybody wants to have an empire? Empire is the minimum years potential that you have remaining. So pull this out, there's a little calculation in there. And what you want to do is you want to figure out what your potential genetic lifespan is, okay? Pretty straightforward. It's just a little bit of math, really simple, grade 6 math. So to calculate it, what you want to do is get the wake-up call of where you are. So, number 1, what is the age of your oldest grandparent ever, living or deceased? You can do this in your head if you're really sharp. Oldest living or oldest grandparent or great-grandparent that ever lived. Get that number. Then get your age. Be truthful. Get your age. Subtract the 2, one from the other. And that is your empire, which is your minimum potential years remaining. Does everybody have a number? Who's got a number that's like 20, 30, 40? There's some people have a negative number. 25. So that means that based on your genetics, you're going to live at least another 25 years. That's your minimum potential years remaining. Now, if you look at pictures of, but the thing is, you know what? I get this all the time. I don't know if I want to live to be 85 or 90. I don't know. I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to be a problem. Well, if your grandparents knew that they were going to live to be this long, because their life expectancy, my grandma's 98 now. Her life expectancy when she was born was 50 to 60 years. She's 98 in spite of what she thought. Now, if you look at the parents of your grandparents, pictures of your parents and your grandparents, and you see how they aged, do you think if they would have known they would live that long, they would have changed their lifestyle to have a better quality of life? So now you guys are getting that notice. If you know your empire is 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, you get to change your lifestyle and change the way that you age and the way that you're going to be productive as you get older. Make sense? Anybody have a negative number? They've actually outlived their grandparents already? Sometimes we get that. So if you've got a large number, you want to make sure that you're working at that. So now what happens is we're also blaming our genes. Now the research is showing that what happens is only 30% of aging is based on your genetics. 70% is based on your lifestyle, what you do, how you live, what you eat, how you think, like Nancy was saying. But what happens, even in China, they're saying it's as low as only 5% is your genetics. You want to have good genetics, but your genetics are influenced by your lifestyle. So epigenetics, which is written down over here, is the study of how your lifestyle turns off or turns on the genes in your body. So you're not only a captive of what your genetics are, your lifestyle will turn on or off the genes in your body. So it's really important that you understand that you don't just inherit your genes, you inherit your parents' habits, the way they live, the way they think, the way they eat. So that's not genetic, that's lifestyle. That's what you've learned and that's what you resign yourself to, that you think you don't have a choice. So you do have a choice. But you can turn on or off your genetics by the way you actually live your life and the way you think. So what happens, lifestyle medicine, which is what I do, is not just about preventing disease, it's about stopping and reversing them. But what happens is, the coolest thing is, it's less expensive than relying only on drugs and surgery. which will save us a lot of money. Lifestyle medicine, so what we want to do is treat disease, manage disease. We want to do nutrition, exercise, stress management, smoking cessation, a variety of non-drug modalities. But the bottom line is, and I'll read it over here because it's not all over there, a growing body of scientific evidence has demonstrated that lifestyle intervention is an essential component in the treatment of chronic disease that can be as effective as medication, but without the risks and unwanted side effects. So if 80% of everybody that goes to the physician in Ontario has lifestyle issues, that's taking up a lot of space for crisis issues that we really need to have. And if we get the mentality to change our lifestyles, that 80% of the money could be going to something way more productive. Now, what you really want to do is one of the things that we stress, we want to get your S, that's an E, get your S in shape. What that's all about is that's about getting your endurance, which is getting your cardiovascular system going, which is doing exercise 2, 3, 4 times a week for 20 to 30 minutes. You can get a pedometer, you can move as long as you're moving, Zumba class, whatever. The S stands for strength. We've got to get strength. You've got to have power. You've got to have muscles. I get all of our women who come into the office to do weight training. A lot of the times they say, I don't want to get big muscles. Well, I say, show me one, because it's really hard to grow muscle. But it's one of the hardest, but it's the most effective way for a woman to reduce her aging process is to actually grow and try to build muscle. That's so critical. It's good for menopausal problems, stress problems, osteoporosis, everything. So when you're building strength, you're good. And structure, what we're talking about there is your brain, your nervous system, your posture, how your body actually moves and looks in space. So one of the things that we talk about is if you want to feel the way you used to feel, you have to look the way you used to look and be able to do what you used to be able to do. And if you're not doing that, that's up to you, because that is something that is within your control and it's not that hard to accomplish. So if you've got all 3 components, what happens is you stay healthy. We have some people who are runners, but they don't have any muscle. They've got a lot of neck problems, a lot of back problems. They can run around the bay, but they have no strength. What we have is we have other people who go to the gym. We used to work in a gym. We just moved up to Carmen's, but we're in the gym for about 2 years. And we get these guys who come in, they're big like this. They can lift a truck, but they can't go up and down the stairs without puffing. So that's not healthy. Other people have decent posture. They look nice, but they got no power. They got no strength. So what happens is you need all 3 components to age gracefully. It's really important that you get all of those things balanced. Now, what you want to do is you've got your empire. You understand that. You know what's going on in our society. 80% of the money is going to lifestyle stuff. There's not going to be anything left for a lot of you guys when you get there. So if you know that, it's time for you to get the advance notice and be aware that you have to prepare for the rest of your life starting today. Most of us are crisis motivated. We go and go and go and go till something breaks, and then we want somebody else to fix it. It doesn't work that way. I see patients every day that come in, they've got fixed. They've got a stent. They're on 3 medications. They got a replaced knee. They can't get out of a chair. They got chronic headaches. Their posture's bad. They've got carpal tunnel. That's crisis stuff. Look after your body, look after your posture, and look after your health, and you don't have to be one of those people. So what happens is we want to make sure on the back of your folder, what we talked about is a little bit about posture, just how your brain and your spine has to be better. If your posture is aligned, you're going to be that much more healthy. But now that you know that the lifestyle is the key to your best health, what are you guys going to do? Just show up this morning, do a little dance, which is fun, and say that's nice and whatever, but this applies to you. This applies to your mom, your dad, your husband, your wife, your kids. So this isn't just like a little fun thing. We're having fun doing it because we do it every day, but it applies to how your life is going to be now and into the future. You get to actually decide how you live your life. So it's really important that you do that. Oh, hold on, one more thing. Now what I did is I included this here. I put on a little bigger paper because a lot of our patients like this. It's stress less, live more. Tips you can do. You can put this on your fridge. You can put it in your office. You can look at it. Everybody seems to really like it, so we've made this for you to remind you how to think or have relationships, really important, how to deal with your life, how to prepare for your life. So what we want patients to be aware of, we want people to be aware of, the public to be aware of, is you control your life. It's not just about making it to Friday. Everybody's worried about making it to Friday. But like it or not, most of you guys are going to make it to be like 80, 90, 100. A study last summer came out said that if a woman makes it to 60 and hasn't had cancer or a heart attack, it's almost 100% she'll make it to 90. So we know right now that this population is growing like crazy. And I've got another stat in here that's really cool. People who are over 80 in Canada, in thousands since 1952. It started off at 200,000. Then it went up to 600, 800, 9,000. Now there's 1.4 million people that are over 80 years of age in Canada. And those people are going to be there. Now, who are the people of the future? Who are the people who are going to be 100 in 15, 20, 30, 40 years and living in society? It's going to be you guys. So you get to determine how you're going to be when you get there, if you get there, and the quality of your life when you're there.